Hey, it's Aisha Anime here at Alcon 2016. I'm here with the lovely Jessica, and can I say your name right? Calvello?
That was perfect.
Oh my God.
No one ever gets it right. That was actually perfect.
And I'm going to ask you a few questions since you're here with us today. And one of the questions is, you've voiced so many different roles. Actually, you can go through the list.
Oh man. Well, I started in 95, so a lot of my work is a little bit older. But I am Fam. I'm Fam in Ruin Explorers. I am Yuri in The Dirty Pair. I am Cutie Honey in Honey Flash. I was cast by Go Nagai to play the English voice of Cutie Honey. I'm in a lot of other stuff from back then. I'm blanking. Those Who Went Elves. I play Celsia. And then more recently, I in Excel and Excel Saga, Lord El Palazzo. And then some of my recent work would be The World God Only Knows Goddesses. Did I even say that right? That title is a long title. And then Girls in Panzer, and I play Sayori. Fairy Tale the movie, The Phoenix Priestess. I play the Phoenix Priestess. Her name is Eclair. Are there eclairs in the cafe? I play the voice of all the eclairs in the cafe. No, that makes no sense. And then so many others, but also my Hanji in Attack on Titan. Let me touch it, science. Yeah.
You might have heard of that show. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's not really that popular. I haven't heard of it. I just did the voice of Hanji, so.
And you've done a lot of like sassy chicks. Would you say you have a favorite, and who?
A favorite sassy chick or a favorite chick? Well, I really love Hanji. I just find her character really interesting. And I love Excel from Excel Saga. She's psycho, but also fun. Either one of they're not really sassy. Mink from Dragon Half would be sassy. She's also a little crazy though. Let's see. Gosh, they're all my favorites. I know I'm so bad at answering this question because I'm like, I like them all, but I really do like them all. Yeah.
And we went to your panel today, and you were also saying that a lot of your characters, some of your characters are very similar, very ditzy. Do you feel you've been typecast, or do you actually go for those roles?
What are you trying to say, Aisha? Are you trying to say I'm ditzy? Is that what we're talking about right now?
No. Not you as a person, but...
No, it's okay. I'm total ditz. I do think I am typecast as the psychotic roles. And I have to say, this is going to come off really strangely, but that's a compliment because... those roles are hard to play. So I think there's always I think there's a real balance you have to strike when you're playing someone so bonkers. Because if the character is just bonkers all the time, it's not interesting. Get very boring very quickly. If Hanji was always, the whole time, it'd be like, no. She's got a lot of exposition that she gives in her monologues and more dialogues as well. And so I think it's a real challenge to play those characters that I do seem to be typecast as because I'm always making sure that there's a balance of them being real and also having their zaniness. Although Excel really is freaking psycho. So I don't know if there's really much of a balance there. But typecast, maybe a little.
And you said previously that you have done a few roles that have been the same Japanese voice actress.
Yes.
And I was going to ask, do you kind of watch her version and try to replicate, or do you just put your own spin on it, or...?
It depends. There are some shows that I've been involved in where they actually tell you that they want you to match the Japanese as much as possible, the same tone of voice and whatnot. For Excel Saga, I absolutely studied every bit of that before I did it. So if I wasn't crazy before, I completely was by the time I started voicing Excel. So yeah, I really, not as much mimic because the translation from the Japanese crazy over to the English was a little bit different. But no, I did study her performance. And then for Hanji, and I don't mean just to keep talking about those two ladies, but those two roles have probably been the two most challenging roles that I've ever played. So I talk about them a lot. But anyway, so and for Attack on Titan, we did want to try to match the Japanese as much as possible. So I dropped Romy Park is Hanji. I am not her counterpart. I am her beneath lower version. She's so incredible. But just really mindful of dropping my voice down, and even when she gets excited, to keep it down here instead of doing that whole thing. So I think I answered your question. I don't actually know if I answered your question.
You did. Another interesting question, because looking at Attack on Titan, a lot of the characters, they will die eventually. I'm not, but one of the question is though, are you allowed to audition again for another part in the series?
Oh, that's a great. No one's asked me that. Like, are they double casting? Because if your character buys it in episode, like Aaron's mom, will we see her again? I don't know. So in other series, there definitely are people that have been typecast. But I don't know if Hanji, and I'm not reading the manga, so no spoilers. Mm-hmm. If Hanji, if something happens to her, I don't know. I don't know if Attack on Titan, if they're double casting, but it has happened before. So
if the eventuality happens and your character gets axed, will you carry on watching the series?
Yeah. So can I tell my geeky story? Okay. So I was a fan of the series before I even knew who was going to produce the dub. I had no idea. So my friends and I would get together on Saturday nights and we'd watch it on Crunchyroll and be like, new episode of Attack on Titan. And it was a thing. We actually all got together and watched it. And I fell in love with it. I was completely hooked. And I was like, and I said, I don't know who has this dub, and I don't even know if I'll get an audition. But the show is so good, I'm just going to keep watching it. And I rarely, that's not something I do all the time. So, finally I got an email one day, and it said in the subject line in all caps, so it's very important if it's all caps, it said Attack on Titan auditions, and my stomach dropped out of my ass because I was like, oh my God, dream come true. And here's the other thing, and I swear when I tell this part of the story, people think that I'm just saying this to say this, but this is the absolute truth. I really zeroed in on Hanji. I thought she was just magnificent and interesting and not just crazy, but dark and twisted and so intelligent. And I was like, wow, if I do get a chance to audition for this dub, I really, really hope I get to audition for Hanji. And oh my God, if I were cast as her, it would just be a dream come true. So I auditioned, you send off your auditions and you hope for the best. And so I was hearing that my friends were getting cast and the leads were cast, and I was like, oh man, I don't think I got it. And then finally I got a call one day, and the director of the series, Mike McFarland, he's like, hey, Jessica, I swear this was all in slow motion. I feel like it was like, hey, Jessica, this is my, because I just wanted him to spit it out. Who am I? Oh, that was very Excel. And so finally he goes, he's like, oh yeah, so we got your auditions for Attack on. I'm like, oh, hurry up. And he's like, yeah, so you're going to be, we've cast you as Hanji. And I screamed so loudly. I was in a park, and there was this mother with her child nearby, and I was like, yeah, I'm Hanji! Ah! And she was like, oh, my baby! And she started taking her child, and I'm like, oh, and I felt so bad I scared her. I'm like, no, it's okay, I'm Hanji, and everything's fine. And that did not help. She was like, okay, get me out of this park. So that is my audition story. So I don't even remember what your question was, but I was a fan of the show before I even knew I had the dub, and I was really hoping I would be Hanji, and it came true, and it's been a huge honor to be a part of this amazing show and to be the character that I really, really zoned in on.
Interesting point you made, working with Mike McFarlane. Mm-hmm. I have met him at conventions. He comes across as really serious, and then we will go up to him and be like, can you do an impression? And then he changes. How was it like working with him?
Well, so it was serious. like the show is a comedy. The show is a comedy. So no, but it was awesome. I mean, he's really funny. So we got to joke around a lot. But also he really, a good director, really helped me to what I was talking about before about maintaining that balance, really making sure that the crazy was crazy, but not over the top crazy. The serious was serious, but not over the top serious, if that makes sense. Really getting her exposition in there to where it's still interesting and she's giving very important parts of the story. She's talking about her research and everything. And then, of course, completely loses her shite when, her beloved Titans are, I don't want to talk about it actually. But also just keeping that in check. So I really feel that he guided me in the right direction on that because that was a challenge. So it was really, really great to work with him.
And moving over to the convention scene. So when you go to conventions and people come running up to you, or even when they're not even running up to you, but you see them walking in that iconic uniform, how do you feel?
It's so cool. You know what? This is what I really, it's like my favorite. Okay, first of all, it's cool. I got to answer your question. Mm-hmm. I love it. What I really love, and so Alcon's a little bit of a smaller convention, so this might not happen, but if I go to a really large con and I'm wearing my own cosplay and people don't know it's me and people don't recognize my face anyway, which is okay. I'd rather them recognize me for my voice, so that's fine. But people don't really know who I am. So I love it when I'm just walking down the hall and I'm in my Hanji cosplay and people just go, it's like this code, and then I just do it back, and like they don't know, like, oh, I'm on my way to my panel or whatever. Oh, I'm a guest here, and it's so cool. And then people are coming up, and they're like, oh, I love your Hanji, and I'm like, thank you. And I'm like, I actually voiced her in the dub, and then they're like, ah, and I'm like, yeah. I'm not even speaking English at this point. But yeah, it's really, I love cosplaying and I love how people react to it. And I love seeing them in their cosplay. And I love all the mashups. Like there's so like there was a Hanji Sasha mashup. It was really cute. Because I'm like, are you Hanji or Sasha? She's like, I'm both actually. And I'm like, oh, you're adorable. So that's really fun too. Yeah, I'm a dork.
And that's why we love you. Also, so cosplay-wise, do you do a lot of cosplays, or is this like your one iconic one that you do, Hanji?
Well, this is definitely the iconic one. I did do a cosplay when I first started voice acting back in '95. I know. But there was this, it's actually not a very good show at all. But they had these cute little sailor girl outfits. They were like these royal blue and white, and the lead character that I played was beautiful blue braids, and the show is, I'm almost embarrassed, it's called Virgin Fleet. It's really terrible. It is, sorry, it's but it's no, it's not even bad good, it's just bad. But I play Shiokaze, who's the lead of the Virgin Fleet. The girls in the show have to power these planes with their virgin energy. I swear I'm not making this up. So I actually had a really cute sailor outfit made. It was really, really cute. It had the blue braids. And so that was really like my first anime cosplay. And then, of course, Hanji. But you know what I'm dying to do? And I want to have this made sometime this year. I really want to cosplay Natsuno from Dog and Scissors. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one. It's a really, really, again, crazy chick. But she's twisted, sadistic crazy. So she's kind of emo. She's an author, and she has a crush on a wiener dog. Anime. You can't make this up, kids. It's because anime. That's why she has a crush on a dog, because it's anime. But she's got this beautiful like black, and she's got like these like thigh things, and she also has a scissors fetish because anime. And it's really, she whips them out and does all this crazy origami and threatens to kill the dog. It's also a comedy. I don't. I would love to cosplay as her. Wow, I've made myself sound also really bonkers. I mean, next question, maybe. I don't know.
I'm lost. For her.
She's like, I don't know what to say.
Do you? I do remember. So, like the character you're talking about right now, do you collect any merch of your characters?
My friend Tim actually sent me a little model of Natsuno, and she's all in her like form, and she's got her scissors, and she's like really sexy. So I have that. I don't have any Hanjis yet. I have tons things that I bought and things that people have gifted to me. I have a lot of Hanji keychains. I have Hanji stickers. I have them up in like my kitchen cabinets. I've like got stickers everywhere. I have pins, that I'll wear. I have on put on my backpack. I have Hanji pins. I've got a hoodie that the Ohio guys bought me as a gift. I got an Attack on Titan hoodie. So I mean, I really but it's easy to find merch from Attack on Titan because it's so popular. But I mean, I love Dog and Scissors, but the merch isn't really out there for that. So so that's why I have so much Attack. But also, I have a lot of Attack on Titan stuff because I really love Attack on Titan. So yeah.
Is there a line, that most popular line, that people come up to you and go, "Can you please say this?"
Yeah. So for the most part, they'll just be like, "Can you say any line from Attack on Titan?" So I'm like, "Well, here's my favorite Hanji line. It's going to be really loud." It's not going to be that loud. But so this is the scene where Aaron has just he's picked up that spoon, right? And done this like transformation. And you see Hanji, I think you hear her first, and she's running in, and she's like, "Aaron!" And she goes, she's like, please, just let me touch it! Did I clip? The poor sound guy's like, oh, I'm so sorry. There's little marshmallows if you want to put them in your ears. Yeah, so that's probably my favorite line.
And can we have one of your favorite moments at a convention?
Well, I'm not going to tell the story I told earlier because that's slightly inappropriate. And I wouldn't even say that was my favorite moment because I was just so hard. So never mind. Favorite moments at a convention. There are so many. Let me think. I actually had someone come up to me. I forget which convention this was. It's terrible. I don't remember. But this kid came up to me and he said that he had been struggling with his sexual identity. And he said that Hanji that's his favorite character. And he really, he feels it himself, he's more androgynous. And he says that Hanji sort of inspired him to really come into his own, I don't know how to really express it appropriately, but he was really just saying that the character has helped him to express himself and that he really, really loved Hanji. In the dub, we actually got rid of all the pronouns. You know, you don't hear us say like, "Oh, Hanji, how is she doing?" It'll be like, "How is Hanji doing?" I don't think that's actually a line. Yeah, so really kept her. I'm saying her because I'm the voice and I'm a her, but they kept Hanji as androgynous as possible. You know, honoring the manga and all that. But when he said that, and it just sort of, you know, the conventions are great and they're fun and they're wonderful. We get to give these great panels and autograph sessions, and we get to meet people like you and just have such a good time. And then there's what we do, which I very much consider it to be art, where we're touching people and we're inspiring them, and you know, are they feeling better about something they're struggling with? And that's. I actually started crying, and then he started crying, and we both cried, and it just really, really made me feel good, but that's not the word that I want. It's just, I sort of felt like, I don't know, validated in a different way. Like, it's not just my voice, it's people identifying with these characters and really taking it inside and going, this is helping me process something. And that was a very long way to explain what I was trying to explain, and I'm not very articulate, but that was, I hope it made sense, but that was like my favorite con moment.
I think the best way to cover that is that individual got all the feels.
That, you know, I should have just said that. I met an individual who got all the feels. Yeah, that was much.
that was a really beautiful story.
Oh, thank you.
And another thing that you mentioned actually about Hanji, when you did the audition, what kind of description did you get? Did you get something about the character or personality?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when I do so I have my own home studio, and I do a lot of auditions out of it, which is very handy because a lot of auditions now are from home-based studios, and I actually have like a sound booth, which is awesome. So when you get an audition emailed to you, it'll have a description, and lots of times it'll have a picture as well. And the beauty of YouTube now, you can also probably go on and hear part of the Japanese or whatever. Not always the case, but in this case, Attack on Titan was already popular by the time we got the dub, so I could pretty much find anything I wanted. But anyway, the email had a character description of like all of the females they were auditioning for. And so for Hanji, I mean, if I'm trying to remember it, you know, I think it had a picture, the picture of her where her and Levi are talking about the abnormal Titan. And so she's like, you know, and she's just all like her eyes, and she's got the goggles on, and they're on horseback, but it's just her face. Anyway, it's cute, classic Hanji. And I think it just was like, you know, Hanji's very intelligent. Research is vital to, you know, what is happening in the story. She's got her serious moments. She's also a little bit of a whack job. It didn't say whack job. But it was professionally written. But yeah, it absolutely described her. But I was already familiar with her, of course, based on what I said earlier. But yeah, a lot of the auditions have a character description, and it has a picture. And so you get a sense of hopefully you get a sense of what they're looking for and the kind of voice that you want to try to put into that role. And hopefully, you know, it works.
And you felt an affinity with her.
Yes.
And last but not least, what are you looking forward to seeing at Alcon?
Well, I was really looking forward to the talent show, which was last night. That was awesome. I'm really looking forward to Cards Against Alcon. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's tomorrow night, right? Yeah. I'm so excited to see that. I'm excited to have a pint with the locals. It's exciting. You asked me what I wanted to see, though. Have I answered that yet? So, I've always wanted to see Brental Floss perform, and I believe he is tonight. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to his show. And I just got to see Moscow X in his panel. I was going to say perform, and he was performing, but I got to see his panel, so I was really looking forward to that. So, yeah, those are some of my highlights, and I'm looking forward to my voice acting panel on Sunday. I hope people want to come and voice act in my Attack on Titan panel. But you asked me what I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to being in those, and I'm looking forward to seeing the other stuff. It's very exciting.
You got a lot to get through.
I have a big agenda.
And I'm going to ask you to do an impression as well. And I'm actually I'm going to film it too. I think I've made it quite clear. My favorite anime that you've been in is like a retro, like one of my first animes I've ever seen, and that's Dragon Half.
Yeah.
I kind of want you to do like when she sings Dick Saucer song.
So I know in the Japanese it's Saucer-san, but what is it in, what is she? I don't remember. You have to go first.
Oh God, I'm no good at it.
Dick Saucer.
Yeah.
She's always hollering, but does she do a little song?
Yeah, she kind of sings the whole the saucer, 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 saucer.
Oh my God, I can't remember. Oh no.
Dick Saucer.
Well, I can definitely do that. But I don't know if it's going to be what you want. But I can just do some little saucer ad-libs. Okay. Yeah. Saucer-san! Saucer-saucer-san! Dick Saucer! Yay! I love Saucer! I love Dick Saucer! I love him! I love him!
And I think we can all say we love you!
Oh, Aisha, you're so fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming and talking to us, and hopefully we'll catch up with you a little bit later on during the con.
Yeah.